Okay.
All right. Well, we're slightly late, but you gotta make sure the
Yeah,
star gets in.
Look here.
right. Go
There's
get
no
my
show
phone
without
out.
Pop.
I'm
Uh, so
looked over
I
here where I always look,
let's
huh?
why don't we beer in? I'm drinking water today because Sebastian got sick, and then I got what he got.
Yeah,
So I'm
your
just
eyes look real low.
I'm just keeping hydrated. So he's fine now. He's running around playing with his grandmother.
He good, right? Yeah.
Baby cooties are the worst.
Oh, I didn't get my
He likes
glass.
it.
But
I
I
think I
got
know
them.
what it was. So we took him. Well, actually came this time. I took him to
Uh-oh.
swim to his swim class, and your nephew's son is extra. This boy kept trying to drink the water in the pool, and he kept trying to like lick the wall. So there was a lot of that. There was a lot of telling him not to do that and making sure. I mean, at first he didn't like it at all. He liked the pool. Now he just being a little too wild in the water.
Nah, I went to the other end of the spectrum.
Oh yeah, like and his teacher. She's a very nice young lady because she be
There we
putting
go.
up all the stuff he be chicanery that he be putting her through. I be feeling bad, but I'm just like Ashley was like, you just gotta let them coach him
She a
because like
trained vet.
I'm used to just being thrown in the water to swim, and she's like, we're not gonna just drop him in. But it
Oh,
was funny.
Ashley that.
He's getting better. He's getting better. But I think that's part of what I got some what he got because he was sneezing after a day after he swam. So I'm like something probably happened. And then his young baby germs overpowered my old people immune system there.
Yeah, yeah.
They are disgusted. And nephew, you need to take that former out of your name. You still on
Oh,
deck, sir.
I'm still on deck.
You still on deck.
That's funny. I
Pops,
gotta check.
what you drinking?
Yeah, what you drinking, Grandpa?
Ooh,
Well,
I
I'm
see.
We didn't have to remind Grandpa to look right into the camera today. He got the right one and
Look
everything.
here. Pop said
It
playing
says
with
here, I'm drinking a premium.
Premium.
Yeah, premium Fosters.
They wrote it on the can.
the fat
Yeah,
kid.
Fosters. I think it
Fat
must be a
can.
ale, but the can is green.
You got the green one.
Yeah, I got the green can.
All right.
Marginal
Well,
beer from down under.
Too, and this must be more than. Yeah, it is. It has to be more than 12 ounces.
I
Heck
think it's
yeah.
24 ounces, right? Or 22 ounces?
I don't know. It's a big one. It's a biggie.
it's a Foster's. I think. I mean, I don't dislike Foster's. I don't think it's bad.
Mm.
Oh, bad. It's good. Good. I'm drinking the good stuff.
It's
Yeah.
25 ounces.
He's
25.
confirming.
Yes,
He's
sir.
confirming your sources with his
Probably about right.
magnifying glass.
All
He's
I
like, you
know
never
is
know.
You never know that Google
it's
could be
extra
wrong.
large can in here.
Ain't nothing
He
right
might
with
be.
the magnifying glasses.
Yeah, 25.4 ounces, 700 and
0.4.
I was wrong.
750.
Stay
Need a one
correct.
pint, 9.4 ounces, all with caramel.
The 0.4 is why it's premium. They give him a little bit extra beer in the can.
That's what made it
Changes
green.
color to
Right,
green. Now it's premium.
A little bit more there.
Yeah, that's because it's bigger than a deuce. That's that.
All right.
it was
What
a
you
reference
drinking?
to size. Premium size.
Who's next, Crystal?
Yes, sir. Today I have Moore's IPA, Black Brewing Company
Oh, I need some of that.
out of Chicago.
I need some of that. Auntie, you got some
What's
of
the
that to
name
your
of it
nephew.
again?
Moore's, like the Moors.
More. Oh, like
You
the
know,
more.
Yes, sir. See?
you
Oh,
know,
yeah,
Auntie.
yeah. Oh, man, I got to drink some of that.
Hey, Auntie.
Yeah, it looks good. That. Oh, you got more too, eh?
Yeah.
Grandma's maiden name was Moore.
I know.
I wonder if they got that
Sorry,
stuff down.
I thought I had a fact.
I wonder
Shut
if
up,
they have
Moore.
that down there in Cherry Hill.
I don't know. This is a black-owned brewery here in Chicago. I don't know how big their distribution is.
Oh, yeah. I like that, though. I'm going to check it out anyway.
Yeah, it's worth a shot. They
They'll
might
find a
be
way to
there.
they'll find a way to send some beer to Grandpa if he asks for it.
Yeah.
Remember when?
Freddie Taylor is for 92? Oh, he get it.
Remember when Strohs gave him that big box of beer just for showing up?
Yeah. Oh shoot!
That
Y'all
looks
are
classy right there. Y'all got a
yeah,
nice.
glass like till you bust the head
You
on
gonna
my
go all the
beer.
way downstairs to get a glass? All
No,
right.
I'll take it a second.
He
All
dedicated,
right.
man.
He
It
just
smells
decided.
great.
Yeah,
He
okay.
really
Cool.
did.
Man, let me tell you guys while Grandpa's doing that, a funny anecdote that happened to me today.
Okay.
Did
So
you
I
taste it?
I told Ashley I wanted an ant farm, right? A gel ant farm because I love ant farms.
Okay.
And I get the ant farm. I ordered the ants like last week. They say they delivered it yesterday. I didn't get no ants yesterday. So they're like, I sent a message to the people, and they're like, just call the post office. They might have it. So, and this is the sidebar. Why it's funny. Your niece was so against me having an ant farm. They're like, I think she prayed about it and God answered something. Because guess what? Guess what happens when I pull up to the post office?
What?
The clothes.
Oh, the post office on fire.
What?
So
Like
now
the
you
whole
got
street,
ants.
the whole street is blocked off. Fire trucks everywhere. They pulling water out, and I'm just like, you gotta be shitting me.
You gotta be kidding me.
Like, ain't no way. Like
Look
every
at
time,
God.
this ain't the first time. Like every time something that she really don't want to happen, she'd be like, shit. Like I'm telling you, that's why I say she a witch. She be praying to some other spirits because I'm like, what are the chances? Right?
Right.
What are the chances on the day I'm going to the post office to pick up my ants? The post office on fire.
I'm gonna need God to not be so heavy-handed. Yeah,
Look
he
here.
could have just let the ants escape. That would have been the
Let you know who his
yeah.
favorite is. He chooses Ashley over you.
That's what's so funny to me because I'm like, people be talking about how you know God exists. I'm like, let me tell you something. The prayer may not have been mine, but I've seen the blessing.
I see the blessing. All right, Pop's got his
Like,
glass and a margin.
I thought it was a joke. Like I'm like, ain't no way the post office on fire. It's no way.
Can't be. Can't be.
Can't be.
I'm gonna pre-rate this.
Like too much head on my beer here.
7.
I must have pulled it too fast or something.
You supposed to put the head on there.
Yeah, but
You
that
need a lot of head, Grandpa, for the beer.
But you know why you supposed to pour the head?
Are you asking me or Grandpa?
I said again.
You know why you supposed to pour the head?
How you supposed to? Yeah, you pour it to the
You
side
know,
of the glass.
you actually supposed to let the head get bigger because that's what actually releases all the extra carbonation so that it's not in your stomach, so you don't feel as bloated.
That's what it did. It got bigger. It's gonna settle down now.
Mm-hmm. But it's settling down in the glass as opposed to your stomach. Because in your stomach, it can't settle down like that.
Oh yeah,
That's a good health fact. I didn't know that.
Oh,
I read that one day, some beer article I was reading. And I was like, because I'm always trying to pour it with as little head as possible, thinking it's all pretty. And they were like, no, that's why you feel bloated and gassy. But when you pour it and let the carbonation release in the glass, it's better for you.
Okay.
Quick fact.
That's a good fact. I'm gonna use that.
I ended up schooling you, nephew.
No, I'm good. I'm glad. You know, that was very helpful because now in the future I know I'm not gonna be ashamed of having so much head in the glass.
Nope.
But oh man. Now what'd you pre-rate, Uncle Pooh? I heard aunties.
Yeah, I was 7.
7.
So where you at now?
I stick with a 7.
You were 17?
I think I'm going to 6.5.
6'5". I ain't mad at that.
No, stay with a 7.
The fall of the Moorish Empire.
I was going to hit a 7 on this one. That would be some lucky numbers there. 3 7s.
You got a 7, Pops?
Yeah, I got a 7 too.
It's premium. That point four is premium. Remember.
It's premium.
You gotta get that extra.
Pop's been real generous with this rating lately. Y'all know that?
Yeah, he's smiling.
That Patty's red.
I say you've been very liberal with your rating lately. You didn't used to.
Don't want to stay on the same thing there, you know. Credit where credit is due.
All right. So, Pops, what's the weather there?
It's supposed to get 80, but it ain't no 80, huh?
Oh, it's only 80. Because I thought about you because today here it's like it's supposed to get up to like 97 to 98. And so
97?
Yes, sir. So we turned the air on and I was laughing. I was like, Pops probably still wouldn't turn the air on. Or if he turned the air
We
on.
gonna have a high of 82.
Yeah, you probably still got the heat on.
I did see the weather. They say it's supposed to be in like our part of the Midwest. It's supposed to be like getting to 100 degrees this week.
When I was it was 102 in East St. Louis yesterday. That was supposed to be a
Oh,
high.
look at here. Tomorrow it's just gonna be 98.
Oh, the heat is coming to you. Then.
Yep, I'm telling. And look at us. We in the people said we were crazy living in the Midwest. Now we're about to have beachfront property, 100-degree weather. Global warming's worked out for us. We got all the fresh water. We got all the beachfront area.
It's all the shooting that's the problem.
Well, they had a tornado here though yesterday, so it touched down out west, Fred.
Oh, it did.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they was just blowing smoke.
Yeah.
That's what tornadoes do.
Actually, he was going up. I wanted to see up to Ottawa.
Who?
That was the place at the time.
Ottawa.
You know about Ottawa, right?
What about Ottawa?
Ottawa, Michigan. It's right there.
Ottawa.
Right up there by Ludington, or you can take your car and put it on a boat, and it'll take you to Chicago. You can cross to Lake Michigan, from Ludington, and I think Ottawa is maybe a few miles from Ludington. Mm-hmm. But Ottawa used to be the place where that was the place. At this particular time when we were denied other places, we had our own, In Ottawa, Michigan, man, it was big time. They had a lot of entertainment up there,
Yeah, we had actually talked about that. Wasn't it with Deshaun Poole? Talked about going up there one weekend or something?
Y'all were talking about going up there?
Well, we did. That was a couple of years ago, I think we had that.
Oh, you went up there?
We didn't go, but we talked about it. Because I didn't know it was there. And one time we were there and we were hanging with Deshaun and they had that conversation. So we talked about possibly adding it to the list of places to visit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, actually,
my understanding was trying to bring it back,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. There's probably a lot more up there now than there was.
Yeah, I know somebody who bought a house up there and renovated it, and now he's doing Airbnbs.
Dope.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty good idea.
Oh,
if you can get into it, man, what is it? Interest rates are 8% now.
Damn, it was 6-something yesterday. They said it was gonna go up.
8%.
So, I mean,
interest rate on a house on real estate.
Yeah, 8%.
I don't keep up with that trash. My house been paid for 77 years.
Right. That actually might be true. I'm thinking about how old Grandpa is, and the distinct possibility that house could be paid off.
Oh, it's been paid off.
No, I mean, like, I'm talking about like if I go back 77 years, he'd be like what, late 20s, early 30s?
It's been paid off for what, 30 or something like that? Pops, how long has the house been paid off?
Paid off.
This house been paid off in 85. How long in many years that been?
That's 37.
The only reason I would have paid it off, but when you get more money and putting your money in the bank and you couldn't hit the lot, ain't no sense in paying it off no more,
Mm-hmm.
And so I just let it roll out. I let it roll out the whole 30 years. That's a long time, and they made their money 2 or 3 times over, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They earned that.
You pay for one of their houses.
You say what now?
You pay for one of their houses.
Yeah, you gotta remember you only paid $11,000. Not only, but
only. Hey, at one time when you make $1.50, 11 grand.
Yeah. Well, like you said, you got the benefit of inflation, right?
Wow. Yeah, I did.
$11,000.
But
my car costs more than that, and I got a Hyundai. I say $11,000. I paid more for that for my car, and I just got a little bootleg Hyundai.
Not in 1955 money.
That's true.
That's money, boy.
I would have loved to go on back in 55. Well, this house wasn't even built in 55, but still, I wonder how much.
I don't know if you particularly want to go back to 1955 and try to buy a house out there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I probably don't. Probably not. You might be right on that, nephew.
You might not want to. Not in the Midwest, especially.
Yeah.
But let me get into the topic. So
You got a topic?
yeah, as y'all probably have heard by now, the Supreme Court done ruled that if you live within 100 miles of the border, which is the entire border of the United States, that they can I don't know, they can question you, detain you, whatever, for immigrational purposes. Y'all didn't hear about this? This is all
No.
over the news. So I wanted to go over a few of the
Yes.
things where. So this is what the ACLU says of what are your rights and how you can protect yourself, right? So are there limitations on immigration officers' power, right? Because apparently they can just bust in your house if they assume that you illegal now.
What?
If you're within if you're within 100 miles of a border. So it says you have the right to remain
What's the point
silent.
of that? Like 100 miles of a border. You might as well just say anywhere.
No, I mean, because so what was it? I think so. It was like over half of the United States Americans live within 100 miles of the border.
Nearly 2 out of 3. That's
2 out
what
of 3.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So and think about it, y'all are within that too because you're near the lake.
Yep.
So that's a border. So the ACLU was saying that here's what your rights actually are in pertaining to this. You have the right to remain silent or tell the agent that you will only answer questions in the presence of an attorney, no matter your citizenship or immigration status. Generally, immigration officer cannot detain you without reasonable suspicion, whatever that means. Immigration officer also cannot search you or your belongings without probable cause or consent. An immigration officer cannot arrest you without probable cause. Your silence alone meets neither of these standards, nor does your race or ethnical alone, and this alone suffice for either probable cause or reasonable suspicion. So you being silent or whatever your
Right.
race is
Sure.
does not give them probable cause. I don't know how that works in practice. If an agent asks you for documents, what you need to provide differs depending on your immigration status. So I don't know what that means. People who have entered the U.S. without inspection by an immigration officer may be subject to be expedited or removed from the U.S. Okay. So that's basically it.
Now that's
Like
any border.
that's any border. That's anywhere. That's like if you're in that's like so if you're in California, if you're in parts of California, right? You know we're near Mexico, but you're near the Pacific, like you're off within 100 miles of Pacific Ocean. You are at a natural border for the U.S. and they can come in your house or the bus or whatever private property they got if they have suspicion.
So I stay within 15 miles of a border. I stay within
100 miles.
Huh?
Within 100 miles.
I know I'm saying, so that means I'm vulnerable, then I stay within 15 miles of the Canadian border, right?
Yeah. So that's what they're saying.
Man, that would take in all of Detroit area. Detroit, right?
So this is everybody who's affected, Grandpa. If you can see the screen.
Wow.
I mean, the absurdity of this is if you break into the country, then you just got to go in the middle, right? Like, why just stay on the first 100 miles? Like, you would just go in the middle.
Going to Idaho, going to Nebraska.
You go to St. Louis, Dallas. Yeah, like that's absurd. All right.
Yeah, but they put probable cause in quotation. So if it's not based on your race or your whatever, I wonder how they're going to, what probable cause is it? Just like people telling on each other now? Like I don't like this person, so I'm about to say this person's immigrant.
Wait a minute, do y'all see that's the entire state of Michigan?
Yeah.
Probable cause could be I don't like the way you look.
Yeah. That's the entire state of Florida.
That sounds kind of funny, but I know that to be a fact. That's before this law ever was, People
this is about to be what?
Don't like the way you look.
Isn't this the premise of 1942? Like you telling on somebody who's like a suspicion of going against the government, and now they're enemy of the state, and people and their rights are gone. They can just bust in their crib and take everything from them.
That's this country, fam. Look here.
That's what it was.
If I don't come back from Zanzibar, y'all know why. Don't come looking for me. I just ain't coming back.
Wait,
no man.
Zanzibar, where's that in Tanzania?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, because I'm thinking about setting some roots up there in Tanzania.
Come on, we
Setting
can
some
go together.
roots.
I ain't
Setting
got
some
no
roots. What does that mean?
We can get up out this piece.
Yeah, get up out of here.
This place is crazy. It
But
is
isn't
truly
that
crazy.
wild? That like I'm surprised y'all hadn't heard about this.
Like seriously, I'm sorry, Neff. Y'all don't mean to cut you off. I apologize for that. But I'm just thinking about how they love to taunt how this is the land of the free, and they restrict us from every damn thing. We can't go to goddamn Cuba. Now, if you live within 100 miles of the border, they can just bust in your damn house. Like there are no freedoms here. There's no damn freedoms, especially for us black and brown. Like this is ridiculous.
Well, they say it right there in the Pledge of Allegiance, right? For liberty and justice for all. Liberty means, by definition, freedom within limits. It means freedom within limitations or freedom within governance.
That is so damn crazy.
So you technically don't have freedom. You have the ability. You have the ability to do what they let you do. That's what liberty really means.
I mean, America been American, and like so. It's just like it just can't even surprise me at this point. Like I read the history. I know what they've done.
This surpasses tomfoolery. It's
Josh.
what history.
Yes. Yes, Grandma.
Was that you that took that thing about 12? Somebody sent me something political. Was you? I forgot.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Huh?
What are you talking about?
I don't forgot now. I'm just that quick.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, you definitely. I mean, if it was a cut and dry, like what they said, what the probable cause was, like you just having a probable cause, like you gotta say what are the parameters in which someone is suspicious, right? Because it can't just be a simple thing where we got a tip from somebody that you were illegal. Because like now you just got anybody who can tell anybody and who they don't like.
That's what Karen been doing anyway.
And the thing is, it's not like they worried about illegal Canadians.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just this country is a whole mess. So I had the conversation with my brother, well, my friend's husband, but my brother. We were talking about it this weekend, and I was just saying, we were talking about just different parts of the country, and I was just saying how a lot of times I want to move south somewhere where it's nice and slow, but at the same time, I don't want to live in a red state. It's like I don't think I'll do well in a red state, but then we start talking about red counties, just all of that stuff. And he was of the philosophy, well, I'd rather be around the ones who are just openly racist. Because what did he say? Oh, he was saying because you got the ones going behind your back, taking laws away from you, this snap. And I'm like, I get what you're saying, but those who hide behind it, I'd rather you take a little bit of my freedom than taking my damn life. I feel like these goddamn openly racist ones are the ones who are violent. And I can deal with, I can find my own damn loophole with a damn law. But when you got somebody who just want to cut my neck just because of how I look,
yeah, I don't want to be around none of them.
I don't want to be around none of it. I want to go home where I look like, well, I'm lighter than them folks. I'm still going to stand out. But I'd rather be around them, though. That's real talk. Now, they might give me a side eye. Some of them might give me a side eye for being American, but then I don't think it's going to be the majority. I think it'll be more of an acceptance, like, shit, she here, she home now. Like, I ain't had no choice on where the hell I was born. But this place, that's where I want to go. That's where I want to live. And that's just that. I've been saying it. People think I be joking, but I'm not.
Oh, I know what it was. It was about benefit rights. They were talking about land that was given away back in 18 something. And then they were talking about It came on down through, to all the territory that was taken and given to people, taking it from native people and giving it to immigrants. Somebody sent it to me. It's a whole list of different things.
You know what? I think I know what you're talking about. I didn't send that to you, but you probably might have saw on Instagram when I posted about it. So what I posted was hold on, Grandpa. What I posted was 8 times the U.S. government gave white people handouts.
That's what I was. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
So in 1830, the Indian Removal Act, with the help of the U.S. Army, Cherokee, Creek, and other eastern Native American tribes were forced to relocate west of the Mississippi to make room for white settlers. 1862, the Homestead Act. This act gave away an overwhelming number of acreage to white settlers out west, land that has been previously settled by Native Americans. According to California newsreel, over 270 million acres of Indian territory was converted into private property for white settlers. 1790 Naturalization Act. Under this legislation, only free whites were allowed to become naturalized citizens of the United States. Thus, the doors were opened for European immigrants, but not anyone else. The right to vote, serve on juries, and hold office was exclusively reserved for American citizens. What is this? The Social Security Act, 1935. Enacted under President Roosevelt New Deal, the Social Security Act provided a financial safety net for millions of workers and guaranteed that they would continue to be paid after retirement. But this luxury didn't extend to everyone, however. The act excluded agricultural and domestic laborers, many of whom were Black, Mexican, and Asian. There's 3 more. Oh, there's a few more. The GI Education Bill, Veteran Administration Housing Authority, and Healthcare System. This didn't even have a date. It just said all of it. Because of these government programs, mostly white, members of the armed forces were able to continue their education, guaranteed private housing, and granted access to public health care system. Many of these benefits are reserved for white veterans. However, for the handful of Black veterans who could participate in these programs, their benefits were still fewer than those of the white counterparts. The Wagner Act. It's a lot of stuff, man. The Wagner Act of 1935, also known as the National Labor Revolutions Act. This legislation gave labor unions the power of collective bargaining, defined unfair work practices, and established consequences if the rules were broken. As unions excluded non-white workers from better paying jobs and benefits like health care, pension, and job security, millions of white workers were able to work their way into middle class. Federal Housing Administration. Under this bill, white families were granted home loans, making it possible for them to purchase their very first home abode. Unfortunately, mortgage eligibility was often tied to race, while those living in the integrated neighborhoods were deemed a flight risk and denied loans. And the last one is the 1960s Jim Crow laws. These outwardly discriminatory laws not only barred African Americans from drinking at the same water fountains as whites, but also reserved the best jobs, schools, and neighborhoods and hospitals for white people. And I posted that. I posted that with my caption being, "Tell me why Black people don't deserve reparations again." Because that was all after slavery.
You talking about affirmative action, and those were affirmative actions, wasn't it?
I mean, people talk about. Listen to what people say about welfare. They always talk about like we can't afford to pay for all these poor people, but the government has been giving welfare to corporations and specific people for hundreds of years.
And the largest percentage of people on welfare is white kids. It's white people. It ain't us. Like I'll tell you, when I was pregnant with Duty, we got on the medical card. That's what they call it here in Illinois, to pay the medical expenses, whatever, during my pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I went, I was the only Black person there. They were white and they were Muslim. And we didn't even live in a very heavy white and Muslim area. Well, sort of. But I was the only Black person each time I had an appointment. But they want to talk about it's us. And they are just happily giving money away to everybody else.
All the time. Like, remember, I posted this like a year or so ago. I found the website that has all the records of all the reparations given to every group of people. from the United States. Like, and it's like there's still a lot that's current, like for the past several hundred years. And it's wild because I know what they're going to say. Like, well, that would benefit just them. I'm like, there's so many things that benefit just specific groups of people. It's outrageous.
And my thing is this: I deserve anything free they wanted that they handed out. I'm a damn vet. Give me all the things. I earned all the things. Don't come at me. Like, it's ridiculous. I've been paying taxes since I was goddamn 16.
I just like, y'all don't understand how many times I saved this country, y'all. I didn't I didn't fought for y'all's freedoms.
You know how many Humvees and deuces I done fixed?
You know, too, was kind of disturbing too. Like you were talking about all the land that was given, and people come up with this word about pioneering. Their forefathers pioneered. Their fathers came over here and they gave them thousands of acres of land. That's pioneering. We were the pioneering. Crap.
That part.
We went out there. Nobody gave us nothing. Not nothing.
Nope. And it's so interesting when people be like, they don't, whenever I have the conversation, I think we talked about this recently. If we did, please remind me and I'll stop. But did we talk about how some Black people say that they ain't leaving because our ancestors built this place? Did we talk about that?
Well, that's I know what you're talking about. I don't think we've talked about it specifically, but I know a lot of people who are fighting for reparations is like, I'm not going to leave this place because we have legal debt that we need to collect before I do anything else.
Y'all can have this raggedy lemon. This country is a lemon.
You're going to give away your reparations?
No, nobody got to give up no citizenship. You ain't got to live here to collect. Shit, we on the docket. You ain't gonna about. You ain't, first of all, you're not about to get no reparations. So
we are gonna get reparations.
Hey man,
don't hold your breath.
Don't spread them false rumors.
No. You about to be?
I'm not saying
you about to be on. You about to be on. What is Fox Soul? And they gonna bring up that clip. Y'all ain't about to get reparations.
I say it on Fox Soul because it is what it is. You look at the track record of the country. You talked about all the people that they done paid reparations over the last hundreds of years. You talk about the white benefits of getting all these times the handouts and whatnot. You notice who's missing from that equation? Us, every single time. And anytime this conversation come up, they come up with a new way to get you arguing over nonsense. Now, about who's going to get it and how soon should it be and what are we going to overspend and all of these conversations around doing something. They're not doing it. And we always go for the head fake because the next election cycle comes up and then that's more important. Hey, let's get Biden back in office first, or let's make sure that Trump doesn't get back in office. Now you off on this conversation. Before it was Barack Obama. Black folks already tipped the country over. Then they brought in Barack and all the angry Negroes quieted down. Everybody sat back and sat on their hands and said, let's see what the magic Negro gonna do. You know what he did? Nothing.
Angry Negroes, magic Negroes.
Huh? Say it again.
I said angry Negroes and the magic Negro.
Yeah, the magic Negro. The magic Negro quieted all the angry Negroes. That was his magic trick. He silenced them. Then we fell back in line into the Democratic Party. Now we arguing against Trump. Now, Biden's old. What's going to happen? Transition of power. The Supreme Court, they always got a story to get us off of the conversation. And we fall for it every time. Go for it, Pop.
I see the third party. We got Democrats, Republicans. Now we're going to have us a third party. That's us.
Well, I hope.
I'm looking for a comment on that.
Well, my comment is
it's a numbers thing, Grandpa.
It wouldn't do shit anyway because it would just be another party that we'll give up and end up being manipulated by instead of building the things that we need to be self-sufficient as a people inside of this country. Like Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam has had it right the whole time. You got to build your own. You got to feed yourself. You got to clothe yourself. You got to employ yourself. Period. They not taking care of us. It's like you only got hundreds of years of empirical evidence in front of you. All right, now if you want to believe it and y'all want to chase that rabbit hole, go for it. But I'm not in that. I'm about self-sufficiency. and getting out of here, and then I'll worry about what's next, because everybody here is not on the same page. I'm not Islam. I'm not a Muslim, so I'm not going to join the Nation of Islam. That's the only group here that I would join and become a part of, but I'm not converting my faith because I don't believe in that. So I ain't got no choice but to leave, right? Like that's it. I ain't got no choice.
Uncle Pooh says he's not going to wear those bow ties. That's all right.
Yeah, I mean, I buy the bean pie and I buy the paper, and I like reading, I like listening. I like talking to them brothers and sisters because they know they be knowledgeable about things.
They still selling paper, Final Call.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be on. I can't buy one no more.
When I was home, Inkster Road, right there on the other side of Michigan Avenue. My man was out there with the papers. I wish I'd have known. I grab one.
I wish you had it. I ain't seen one in months because I used to buy one every time I stopped by. They're $2, you know.
Yeah, that's probably more.
So you can be halfway informed of what's going on, you know.
Yeah, they be on it.
I thought maybe they stopped them from selling out there.
No, well, at least like I said, that day I seen him, he was there. But
well, if you saw it, then they still doing it, you know.
Yeah, we just still overall going for the same shuck and jive. You know, it's the same thing. In Malcolm X in the 60s was talking about the Negro spends $20 billion a year, and we don't spend 2% with black businesses, you know, and all of this stuff. And now the only difference is the figure is $1.4 trillion a year, and we're still not spending it with ourselves. And most of us don't even understand why that's important. You can't even, like, there's no way we could get to 100%, right? Because we don't produce enough businesses and stuff, right? But what if we got the 10%? What if we got the 20%? Like, what type of dramatic impact could that have in our communities? But you can't even find 20% of the population that feels passionately about that being important, despite them, their children, their nieces, their nephews, the people in their community would get employment, would get opportunity, resources would flood into the community. But nobody has that type of foresight because we worry about a Balenciaga bag. I don't even know if I got that right. I just saw that on my timeline. I don't know nothing about that mess. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just getting upset over the same song and dance, a law that the American political statute that America puts out. We get up in arms about it. We talk about it for a minute. We stop talking about it. They do something else, and the cycle just go on. And we never gain self-sufficiency in the process. So we always gonna be led around by the nose.
That part.
Yeah.
You did mention about Zelensky. Or did you?
Zelensky. I said Balenciaga. That's like some sort of high-end fashion house. I don't know.
Grandpa done changed the whole topic. He like, talking about
Zelensky.
I thought I heard him say something about Zelensky. You know.
Who is Zelensky?
Right.
Let's just go with President of Ukraine.
Yeah.
Oh,
you didn't say that name then.
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't know nothing about him.
Just curious.
I'm not paying attention to that either.
That's a bunch of crap too.
Oh, let's get your opinion on I just want to rally him up. January 6th trials.
What's that?
The people stormed the Capitol, remember?
The insurrection.
Yeah, they on trial now.
About damn time.
Yeah, the January 6th trial reminds me of the impeachment. We impeached somebody twice and ain't nothing was done about for nobody. So what difference is January 6th now? They didn't expose Trump to all his crimes and ain't nothing. People think about. We don't know though. It might upset the country if we impeach our president or we try to put our president in jail. We can't do that, you know. We can forgive him, you know, because he know not what he does.
Yeah, they had to protect him. They gotta uphold this this world image that they've made up.
Yeah.
So you can't impeach. You can't fire your president. Like, what is, you know, that ain't gonna work. Yeah. So you don't think nothing's gonna come of the trials? Somebody going to jail, and it ain't gonna be Trump.
Always go to jail. They at the bottom of the ladder, you're going to jail. No doubt about it. Well, Trump ain't gonna help there. He got $270 million for for support, from his people. He ain't gonna share that to nobody on the bottom rung. All them people in jail now, but they didn't get a dime out of that money that Trump asked for, from the people. He got $270 million. They even changed it from being a defense fund to a family fund.
You say he changed it? He changed it to a family fund?
He didn't change it. It never was. He said that's what it was, a defense fund, but they can't find no record of being a defense fund. No, he took that money, man, and they got a family fund. He got something with his company. I mean, he got the money, but not for the purpose of which he got it from. All of that $270 million, that's in Trump's bank somewhere.
Yeah.
Did y'all hear about 31 white supremacists were captured by law enforcement on their way to, I guess, shoot up a pride parade a couple days ago or something?
Wow.
Yeah.
They caught them like all in one big truck.
A U-Haul truck had 31 people, man. They all they got masks and everything on.
What?
Had body armor on.
And body on all that
What?
stuff.
How do y'all not hear this
right?
What do you be watching the news with Dad or something?
I gotta have topics. I gotta know what's going on.
Yeah. I ain't seen none of it, man. Wow.
Yeah, man. They
there
captured.
You go. One more conversation. It's time to go.
Yeah.
They captured them alive. All 31 of them had body armor and everything.
Wow.
Inversely. So there was did you hear about this story? So a white boy, I'm probably using it wrong. A white boy was killed by a group of young black men or black boys, whatever. I'm not sure what age they were, but they killed him because he had a toy gun, but they didn't know it, and he was running up on them like he was about to do a mass shooting. So they stomped him out. And now they're supposed to get 25 years or something for defense.
I can't stand this place. Can I say it again?
Yeah, I mean, there you go. That's just one more time, America being America, man. They just doing what they do. It's like we are the ones with the problem. We got the problem because despite what they do, we don't see them for who they are. Like, are you really surprised that they're gonna get 25 years and they're gonna have the book thrown at them when if you flip the colors, a group of white boys killed a black dude that they say they thought he had a real gun and ran up on him, they would get off.
Well, that's Rittenhouse's whole defense. He said he thought his life was in danger, and that's why he shot and killed those people.
Yeah, that's why he went there with a weapon.
He's going to Texas A&M University.
Yeah.
Texas
but
A&M
now
like, no,
change Rittenhouse to a black guy and then turn the dead victims into white people. He don't get off. America just been doing what America do. We should not be surprised at this point. We can't be surprised.
Rittenhouse comes from Illinois. He
went
to another state.
Wisconsin by his mother. She brought him there. He had the AR-15, so she let him out with the AR-15 to go and protect property. And he walking around there saying he carried his gun. And he killed 2 people now, right? Wounded a third. And he wound up being a hero in Washington, D.C. In fact, one of the congressmen had him working in his office. That's poetic justice there.
No, that's your country being your country. It ain't the same. It ain't changed. It's just something wrong with us. It's Stockholm syndrome. Like, we just desire to just be equal with these people in this country so much. They can do whatever they want to us, and we still have this strong affinity for them.
I don't want to be equal to them because that's diminishing myself, baby. I'm not going.
Well, not every individual. And it's not a conscious, it's not necessarily conscious.
Mm-hmm.
So the issue also with that is it ain't just them here, it's them abroad. Like, have you seen those videos of how the the black refugees from Ukraine are not being allowed to be
Yeah, we
refugees.
talked about that. Yeah.
They don't matter. It's white supremacy worldwide. They
I agree.
doing it everywhere,
Would you
everywhere.
repeat? Would you repeat
Yeah.
that again about refugees?
So when the Ukraine stuff happened, like when it just began, right? You know, apparently black people live in the Ukraine. I did not know that, but they were trying to get out. You're trying to evacuate like everybody else, and the people on the train and all the stuff that were helping people evacuate were like they were not letting any black people on, none. This was all over the news, and like all the black immigrants and all that were just saying like we thought everyone was cool here, but I mean, no matter that just tells me no matter where you go, as long as you're a black person and they can identify you as a black person, you still a second or third class citizen.
There,
No matter what.
again, all of that just strengthens the point of self-sufficiency and working together. But again, we still refuse to see that collectively as a people. And then in addition to that, I'll say that is true. White people going white people, and they've been white people in all across the globe since they've been discovered on the planet. But ever since then, there's still different levels of hostility that they perform. The United States is still the height of the hostility on a daily basis around the globe. Britain, you know, the British people don't like you. We know that. But the level of hostility on a day-to-day basis it just still is not comparable. And everybody not running around with a damn gun on their head. That's what really is getting me about this country is people are saying to be safe, you better get a gun. That's stupid. Like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. Or I don't want to be around a situation like that where I have to have a weapon to try to feel some sense of safety.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me. And I know there's no ideal place. You can't run from it completely, but you don't have to. If there's a war going on, you don't have to be on the front line either. People in the back are still in danger, but they're not on the front line. They're not walking towards each other shooting, right? You ain't got to just sit on the front line. Like, that's how I see it. I'd rather go to try to develop a plan.
The senator, the lady, running against Senator Rubio.
Oh, yeah. That's your favorite.
What's her name?
Oh, I thought it was Mark Rubio.
She was a police chief she was a police chief in Florida. She's running for senator from the state of Florida.
I'm not familiar.
You know.
Josh, you supposed to be on top of
what did she do, Grandpa?
Huh?
What did she do? You're trying to tell us something.
Rubio for that Senate seat.
Okay.
But what I was going to say, if she gets that Senate seat, there will be a change in Cuba. Because the only thing keeping Cuba from being with the rest of the people is Marco Rubio down there with his crap. The United States, they never exposed Rubio for what he's doing, you know. But I'm trying to, I can't think of her name. If I could think of it, you'd say, yeah, I know who you're talking about. She was a police chief in Florida.
I don't follow police chiefs.
Dale.
I'm looking at it now, Pops.
Yeah.
What I want to, basically, something you just said, Uncle Pooh, made me think about something from like a week or so ago. We talked about it, about how maybe we didn't talk about on the show, but it's interesting that you hear you guys talking about wanting to leave America.
Val Demings.
What's her name?
Val Demings. She was a police chief in Florida, in Miami. Val Demings.
Oh,
well, like I was saying, it's interesting to hear that because, like, when we see immigrants come over here, they always say like we didn't have any opportunities where we came from, and some of the argument back and forth between immigrants and black people have been, hey, if you had a nation that was basically run by your people, why didn't you do anything about it? And when we say that we don't have that, because we're Americans by birth, right? We're from here. We don't have that luxury to be able to just leave a place, but still have ties that nation, that nationality. Like if things get hairy, you can always go back home. Like wherever we go, it's going to be an issue.
True that.
When you go somewhere else, it's not just you being black no more because everybody hates Americans. for the most part, and they have the perception of you. So it's a lot, man. It's a lot to go with. It's like you're a
fish out of water,
no,
but
it's a specific word. It's like you've been banished in your own world.
But you also find when you travel internationally, they hate Americans, but it ain't black people. And like oftentimes they'll talk to you like that. Like, man, I don't know how the hell y'all live there with them. Like it'd be more like concern, like
it's
man,
pity.
you should just move over here. Like, why y'all stay there? Like
It's pity. It really is.
You get pitied. That's what it is. And it's not because you were slaves and this and that. It's like because you got to live with them Americans, and them boys ain't right.
Like we experienced that. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you're right though. It's pity. That's exactly what you experience. But I was gonna say, we're working to get our dual citizenship in another country, and that'll be the start. And I want to get it in as many countries as we can get them because of just what you're talking about. So that I'm going to the embassy. You know what I'm saying? But that's the reason I ain't gonna give up my American passport. That's ridiculous. Don't be stupid. You got the bully on. You kind of on the bully team, but if I'm abroad, I'm going into the U.S. embassy if there's an issue.
And acting real American life.
Acting real American. Hurry up and open this gate.
Damn, I'm a goddamn American.
I'm going into the embassy like
because I'm a veteran.
I'm actually about to go into the embassy and be like, all right, now y'all can blow up the place after I get in here.
After I get in. Let me get in first.
So we experienced that pity in London.
Mm-hmm.
Like every time, like we in Ubers or whatever, and as soon as we start talking, they're like, "Oh, you're American," and we're like, "Yeah." Like it got to the point where we didn't want to admit that we were Americans because now there's this whole conversation and the whole pity. Like, oh my gosh, because at the time Trump was still president, which was just a whole other mess, and Boris thought he was Trump's twin brother, whatever.
Yeah.
And then when we went to Jamaica, when we met other Europeans or wherever they were from. It's just like when people hear that you're American, it's like, what the hell? But Pops, you're right though. Her name is Val Demings, and she's in Orlando.
All right.
Orlando.
That's where she's police chief at
Yes,
one
sir.
time or what? Yeah. But anyway, she's running against Marco Rubio, and Marco Rubio got his foot on Cuba's neck. His father was one of them people that ran along with the mafia when Cuba took over, the country. And they've been fighting ever since. Those years that Castro was in power, that's all they've been doing is trying to get Cuba back so they can bring the mafia back and the gambling and the prostitution. And Cuba ain't going for it. They keep talking
right to me.
So, Grandpa, let me ask you this before we wind down the show. How is it possible that Marco Rubio, that's his name, Marco Rubio?
Yeah, Marco Rubio.
How is it possible that Marco Rubio has direct ties to illegal, villainous organizations, but managed to get a government seat in office?
What?
Like I know the
answer. What?
Well, I know the answer. I'm trying to lead this up because, like, at your job, like if you work for a government entity, you can't have like, what is it? Immediate connection to someone in your family who's done like real crimes, right? So that's just like how on and Grandpa, before I finish that, Grandpa, where did you find out that he had these connections? Like, how did you find this out?
The connection?
Yeah, how did you find this out?
About Marco Rubio's parents was part of the migration. Castro let anybody that wanted to leave Cuba go. So he let all the mafia people that ran Havana. He let all the property people who wanted to go, but they wanted to take all this property with them too. But he nationalized it.
Right.
Marco Rubio,
I'm asking Grandpa,
Marco Rubio's sentiment is with those Cubans who left Cuba. And they ain't never forgot. They still think they're gonna go back and get back their land and stuff. They ain't gonna do it because the land been nationalized. People worked up for them for hundreds of years and got nothing for it. Now that Cuban land belongs to Cuba and not to no few people.
Right. What I'm saying is, how do you know that his family specifically had ties to the mob there?
Him tied to the mob.
Yeah.
No. he's a something of what the mob does. He's not tied directly to no mob. He was born in this country. His father came over here as a migrant from Cuba when they let the refugees go. When Castro said everybody can leave that want to leave, they left. Mostly people of African descent, they didn't come over here because it was worse over here than it was over there. They said, why we go to Florida when they lynching in Florida? We done got freedom, you know. And this is where it is. Not a majority of the people in Florida, I mean, in Cuba, of African descent. And you hear that what I said? I said the majority of them is of African descent. And they ain't coming over here for this crap.
Okay. Well,
yeah. And Marco Rubio, he's part of that old school. His father told him, you know, how they were mistreated. They took our land and this we want it back. They ain't getting no land back because it wasn't there to start with, you know. Okay. I mean, Cuba was just a game that was being played on people. Because, as I said before, Puerto Rico, the Philippines, and Cuba was taken from the Spanish in 1891 or something, 1889. All of them, they gave the Philippines their independence. They gave Puerto Rico, made them a territory. And this Cuba, 90 miles off the coast of Florida, made them independent. So they made them independent. So the mafia ran Cuba, and that's a fact. You know, you've seen the movie The Scarface and all that, Havana. That was Sin City. The people that owned all the ranches and the stuff and the Coca-Cola companies and all that, they made well. They did well in Florida. The Castro came in there, stopped some of that stuff. Cuba, you know, that's my thing. Cuba, 99% literacy, better than anywhere in the world. And they were 90% illiterate before Castro came in. 20,000 people died. Batista was a dictator. He didn't elect it. He came in and took power. Before he left, he killed about 20,000 black people. This is all that, you know, YouTube and all the rest of it, you know. We just got to understand, but there ain't nobody said nothing about Batista. They keep talking about Castro. Castro sent doctors all over the world. It liberated Angola, helped Mandela get out of prison and all that. Ain't nobody give no credit for that. That's my thing about Cuba. And I say as soon as if Val Demings get in there, and that probably costs not Havana, but Miami is controlled by the Cubans. Now you can check that out. They all came over here and they took control. A couple of black girls wanted to work, and they told me they had to be able to speak Spanish. She said, "No, this is America. Why should I have to speak Spanish to work for y'all down here?" You know. But Miami is controlled by Rubio and his people. Cubans was in exile, the refugees that came over here. And when if they get rid of that Senate power there and get all these Cubans, put them in their place, then they'll take their foot off of. Obama tried to get their foot off of their neck, and then Trump come in there and put the foot right back on the neck. You know, you was able to go to Cuba, and now they talking about you can't live in the hotel and all that stuff. That's a bunch of crap.
Well, we actually got a question, Grandpa. How was Cuba able to keep all that to themselves? I feel from a historical perspective, that's a perfect place for Caucasians to take over or invade.
Say that. Repeat that again.
How was Cuba able to keep all the landmass to themselves? I feel for historical purposes, that's a perfect place for Caucasians to take over or invade.
I'm trying to translate what you.
So the question is, how was Cuba able to keep everything? Because you would think that the white people would have come in and taken everything.
No. They tried. Remember the Bay of Pigs? They were going to come back and take it back. They didn't get no support from the United States and the Air Force, and Castro caught them on the beaches. You know, and on top of that, Castro had trials. It was on television every day where he was shooting those people who were traitors. You know, a lot of people thought they were going to come back and take it back and get the office and the money. Castro had them on the firing squad. You got rid of all them anti-Cubans
Mm.
on television, man. Bam, bam. Quite a few Americans, man, got shot up over there.
Yeah, just Google the Bay of Pigs, and you'll see. They didn't give it up without a fight.
Who that?
And I'm just saying, the United States, they didn't give it all up without a fight.
Oh no, they can't
They had to
no,
do
it
it
wasn't.
covertly because they couldn't act like they were supporting Baptista.
Okay,
So
Cuba was independent, right? After the revolution. They didn't have them tied with the United States. So Cuba being independent, United States wasn't involved. They didn't go over there and try to invade it and take back something because there wasn't nothing there. That was an independent nation. It was a solemn state. But then they're going to help the Cubans who left there to go back and take over Cuba. But they didn't get the Kennedy didn't give them the help they needed because they needed some air support when they hit the beaches at the Bay of Pigs. With no air support, and Castro sent them back to the water. Get back to Miami the best way you can.
right, like I said, you got to go read the history because again, the United States couldn't act like they were being part of it all, because that would mean that they were overtly supporting Baptista, and Baptista got his own history. You got to go read Baptista's history. That's why they be talking about Castro. And so the question is, well, what the hell was going on before Castro, and why did he overthrow somebody? What was going on? That's the part that Americans never get.
Don't want to talk about.
We don't know how to critically think about things. We just get emotional and be led around by the nose all the time. But this is why I always bring up John Henry Clark, because he made the comment that you should never discuss a situation until you understand how it came to be, because you can end up arguing a side of your oppressor and you don't know what the hell you talking about. And this is what most people are doing when they speak, particularly about Cuba, because they have no idea what Batista was doing, what was happening in the 50 to 70 years leading up to Castro's revolution, nor what Castro was doing around the globe once he got in control of Cuba, and his role in the liberation of Africa. This never talked about in the school systems. They don't want you to know any of this information. But it's all right there, right? In the age of information, ignorance is a choice.
And when we were in Ghana, they had Fidel Castro, they had Ben Bella of Algeria, they had Muammar Gaddafi, they had all those people who, for liberation of black people, you ain't seen nobody that we represented, was there. It's like Mandela, when he came out, got out of jail, he went to see the Cubans. They want to thank him, 27 years in jail. Who got out? Randall Robinson begged the United States to put sanctions on South Africa. The United States does nothing. All those years, nothing. If it don't be for Castro, he might still be in there dead. He could still be there,
Yeah, not only might he still be there, all those countries might still be oppressed because he was instrumental in the majority of them.
Yeah.
Right? But you're never gonna get that type of understanding because Castro's the boogeyman that they use to keep you fighting against yourself. I get black folks tell me when they tell Castro he didn't like black people. Listen, this dude has done more for black people or African people on this planet than any leader you could name. Period.
Who's that?
Castro.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, any leader you can name.
Say it again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He really has. Ain't nobody else done nothing for the global African community like this guy.
How many years was it? Not Julius. When Patricia Lumumba,
I forgot he back here.
Yeah. Did they ever talk about Patricia? Now all of a sudden they said the CIA was responsible for Patricia Lumumba's death, right? 50, 60 years later, they said the United States had a part in killing the man when he was trying to liberate the Belgium. When 12 million black people in the Belgium died under Leopold II. Nobody talks about it. Patrice Lumumba, when he got their independence, he said enough is enough. What did they do? They assassinated him. I mean, this is going on all the time. Just like Muammar Gaddafi, he was talking about if the United States of Europe, not of Europe, United States of Africa If there was such a thing in the United States, that would be one of the most populous continents on the face of the earth.
So,
and Muammar Gaddafi was trying his best to get the United States, Africa to be united. You can't have 50 different countries all going in a different direction. You got to have, like we got United States of America, we got Nebraska and Oklahoma and all them things. Those are sovereign states, right? You can have sovereign states in Africa, but you got to have a leadership for direction in which to go in, you know.
So to answer Stephen's question, Muammar Gaddafi is the one that was looking for the one currency in Africa because he was building.
Right. And Farrakhan said, "Don't trust them." He told Muammar Gaddafi, "They're gonna kill you." And sure enough, they did. And what did Clinton say? Miss Clinton, we came, we saw, we killed.
Damn shame.
Well, let's wind down and give our final thoughts. Auntie, what's your final thought today?
I love seeing Pops get fired up when he's talking about
Cuba, because I remember when, you know, if nobody don't remember when, it's difficult to get fired up. But I remember when Cuba, man, became independent. When the people that ran Cuba was over in this country, man, dictating all the terms. When Batista came in as a dictator, he came in for 9 years, from 52 to 59. He stayed over there killing up folks. Nobody won't talk about it. And that's why I'm so what's going about Cuba, you know. Because I know that's where my people at. I think maybe 70-80% of the people in Cuba are of African descent.
Yeah, I just love it.
And when you say Cuba, my ears like a dog. Oh man.
Yeah, you get a fire under you like nothing else when Cuba's brought up. It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah, Cuba.
What about
all this time, man, they've been catching hell. Like say, if we ain't no cars and things over in Cuba, except old cars, and United States say, if you deal with Cuba, you can't deal with us. Now, what kind of crap is that?
Right.
What's your final thought?
Haiti would have been one of the most richest countries over in the Caribbean. You know, what Haiti got? They tell me they wound up paying billions of dollars for the slaves that France said they owed them. They were their slaves, and they barricaded them and got them. Well, they couldn't get nothing in and out of Cuba unless France let them in and out. It's a sad situation.
Well, what's your final thought, Uncle Pooh?
Hey man, these people are gonna do what these people do. Like, we better stop depending on them and get self-sufficient. Get to a place in our lives where we depend on ourselves. Like John Henry Clark said, you have no friends. You have no friends. I don't think we really understand that or accept it, but it's so true. You have no friends. So if you're looking for a friend, you better look in the mirror. And I think it's time for us to look in the mirror. We better. Particularly in this country. Well, y'all better. We leaving. So y'all, good luck to you. And the odds forever be in your favor.
I'm looking for better times.
What's your final thought, Grandpa?
Well, you know, my final thought, I was talking about incremental change. That's my final thought. I see progress. It's progress. It's slow. Maybe another 100 years. But I see progress. That's my final thought.
Maybe another 100 years, things will go from terrible to just bad.
Right. That's about how it works.
That's my final thought. And don't forget the only difference between regular and premium is just that 0.4%, ladies and gentlemen.
4 ounces.
0.4 ounces. That's all much. That's a little bit more effort you gotta give to be a premium person.
That's all I got out of the premium with 4%.
It's only premium in word.
4 ounces, 0.4 ounces.
Oh, 0.4 ounces. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'll see you guys. Love you.
Oh, yes.
Love you, baby. See you later. See you, Pops.
I'll see you, Pops.
Take care.